Good afternoon, YouTube, and welcome back once again to Fat Cat Collections. Today I'm going to be sharing with you guys a company that goes by the name of CLOUDSTYLE. They were nice enough to reach out about a month ago, roughly a couple weeks, month ago, and we collaborated on some of their suits, right? And so they sponsored 4 videos, and I'm going to be showcasing you 4 of their suits. So the one I'm going to be sharing with you guys today is their 3-piece Onyx Black Pinstripe suit, and it is available in blue, red, black, and silver. I chose the black, and I think that this one of the 4 they sent me is my favorite. So stay tuned. Let's take a look at what it looks like. Okay, folks, well, there you have it. This is the black pinstripe variation of the 4 suits they sent me. Based on what I'm seeing in the camera, this looks fantastic, and I love the way that the upper portion of this suit fits me, and we're going to talk about the pants in a second. So one thing to be noted, when you're buying a suit that's off the rack, mail order, you have to kind of be a little bit more flexible. You can't be getting a suit off the rack and then get it and then complain about the way it fits, because these suits come small, medium, large, extra large, 2XL, and 3XL. And so you're basically going to use the style guide on their site, or the sizing guide on their site, to determine what's going to fit you best. Now, just for purpose of the video, I am about 175 pounds. I'm about 5'8", and this is how the medium fits me. They suggested, well, they didn't suggest, they wanted me to send them my measurements and let them decide. I kind of went with their sizing guide, but I erred on my side of caution with going smaller. The problem with buying suits that are just kind of like not a 38 or a 40, when you buy suits, even when you go into a brick and mortar store, generally you'll buy the suit based on your size. You can get a specific size pant, you can get a specific size jacket. Now for me, I wear anything from a 38 regular up to a 42 regular. This, I would say, fits me more like a 39, 40 regular. Again, jackets aren't always jackets, and I talk about this a lot of times when it comes to leather jackets. You know, you can get a small that fits you great and a small that might be a little bit too tight. Even with this specific brand, their mediums aren't their mediums across the board. There is a slight variation. But again, for the price point, speaking of $97.99, I don't know if that includes shipping. It is on sale right now, but I think they kind of usually keep these suits around the $100 price point. It's a pretty nice suit for what you're getting. I've had more expensive suits over the years. And, honestly, as far as the quality of material, there really isn't much difference. The suit feels great. I think it looks great. And you just have to kind of deal with some things you're going to, have to kind of be a little more flexible about when buying a suit based on these kinds of sizes. They're really meant to fit a wide variety of the population. If you do want the perfect fitting suit, and arguably, I think if there was something really special going in my life where I wanted to look my absolute best, I would go and get a suit custom tailored. You're always going to get the best fit. But in all honesty, the way this suit fits me, I think I wouldn't really want this suit tailored any different than the way it's fitting me already. I tend to like my clothing fitting a little bit tighter. I think if you're a guy, and again, this depends on, and I know it's hard on a YouTube video to decide I get this all the time with leather jackets, what size should I wear? Look at me, tell me what size. I don't really know that. If you are a person that likes their suits or their clothing fitted, then I would always kind of err on the side of caution and go with the smaller size. Again, you be the judge. You can use their styling guide or their size guide, but honestly, I could have went into a large, and I could have went with the medium. Small would have been way too small. Now, as far as my waist size, again, I would change. I wear anything from a 29 up to, depending on the make, a 34. If I'm looking at Wranglers, their jeans, I'm a 34. If I'm looking at Carhartts, I can squeeze into a 32. 32 is always pretty safe for me, but it just depends. The nice thing about these pants, and I believe all their suits, come with this elastic waistline. And what's really nice about this is that there is a hidden elastic waist on this, so you don't look like you're wearing adjustable pants, but you are. And I absolutely love pants like this, because over the years, your body weight may fluctuate a little bit. You may get in shape, you may get out of shape. And it's just kind of nice that most of the time for men, we gain our weight in the midsection. And so generally, if you have a coat, you can always wear it open. If you're putting on a little extra pounds and you feel like you can't button it, you can wear it open and still look extremely stylish. You can see the way the vest fits on this. One thing I like about a 3-piece suit, if you are, like you can see, I'm not, I don't have the 6-pack abs. I definitely have some belly fat. Nice thing about a 3-piece suit, That vest, if you get it a little bit tighter, it'll kind of snug everything together, kind of cinch you down a little bit, and kind of hide that. And again, always getting clothing that fits you properly. So for this, again, this is a medium. I wear anything from a 38 regular up to a 42. I'll always kind of lean towards a 38. I believe this is closer to a 40. I've had 38s where you don't want it to be too tight. With this, I still have mobility. You don't want to be bending over and grab something and rip the back out of it. It fits me nice and snug. And honestly, of all the suits I have, this one so far fits me the best. Now, as far as the pants, again, great that it has that elastic waist. For my size, even with my waist, anything from a 29 to a 34, depending on the make, you know, you can kind of get an idea of what I look like. Let me just show you. Take the jacket off here. You see what the vest looks like. And I'm just wearing a simple H&M shirt with a clip-on tie, you know, just for purpose of the video. But you can see it's a really nice look, and I absolutely love the way a three-piece suit looks with the vest. One thing I really like about a three-piece, when you take the jacket off, depending on what you're doing, you may be at a wedding, you still look extremely stylish and very well put together. Again, that is subjective, but I love it, and I like the fact, again, you know, I work out pretty often. I won't say I'm in any kind of like muscle magazine shape or anything like that, but I'm a normal guy who works out and keeps himself, you know, in decent shape, I'd say. Again, no six-pack abs, depending on your body type. If you are, and I am 175 pounds, 5'8", if you are a guy who is 175 and more of the 10% body fat, you might find that the chest on this is going to be too small. Again, you might have to jump up to the large. The downside when going to an upsize, and if you've ever looked at pro bodybuilders when they're in formal events on stage, you know, when their suits are made to fit them and they're all wearing custom suits, they just look ridiculous. I've always said that really big, in-shape guys, muscle-bound dudes look great shirtless, right? When they start putting on clothing or anything other than gym clothing, they start to look kind of ridiculous. Whereas I think there's a nice balance between what looks good and being you know, having a certain amount of muscle, right? So again, I'm giving you guys this information, not as bragging points, just to give you guys an idea of, you know, what you're looking at based on a medium size, and hopefully this might help you if you do decide to get one of these suits. It might help you with choosing the size. There's always a little bit of a risk when buying online. I don't know about their return policy. Again, if you need to know that, drop them an email, drop me an email. I can try to get you an answer. But overall, I mean, the quality for $97 is fantastic. One thing you can't see in the video, and the one complaint that I have with all suits, really across the board, or many suits, is they always have more of a tapered pant leg. And I'm a boot guy. I think that cowboy boots look fantastic with anything, but with certain tapered leg pants like this, I think, and let me just drop the camera down a little bit to show you. These are not even really cowboy boots. These are more of like cowboy style dress boots. You know, until the pants are hemmed, you won't get a good representation of how it's going to look. I do feel like with a pant like this that has more of a taper to it, I think dress shoes are going to be better. So when I get these hemmed, I will have them hemmed to fit standard, you know, loafers or dress shoes. But you can get an idea right now. For my height, 5'8", you know, there is definitely too much material here. This needs to, and it is kind of personal preference on where your pants break. But realistically, for me, if these were my chosen shoes, I'd probably make them break about there. But you can kind of get away with it if you're, you know, a lot of dudes out there. You know, if you're just looking to grab an inexpensive suit, you have something, a wedding to go to, or you got, you know, even work, you may not be too critical about that stuff. A lot of guys are just going to throw these on and call it a day. But I do think, though, gentlemen, if you are going to wear a suit, and you do buy one of these suits, before you wear it, please, the one thing you're going to need to do is hem the pants. And make sure that you know, if you don't want to take them to a tailor, you can do it yourself. If you don't have sewing skills, and that's okay, you can use the double stick hem tape. It's really simple. You get yourself an iron. Get these, you're going to have somebody help you pin them and get the right length. And honestly, kind of hem them to wear. I don't think there's any real set rule. You can have the pants break at a certain, you know, a certain spot in the shoe. It really comes down to the type of shoes you wear and the look you want to go with. A lot of the more, I'd say, modern looks are the pants kind of hiked up a little bit higher. So remember, you know, you're going to get a lot of information on YouTube. A lot of folks telling you what you should or shouldn't do. You know, always, you know, do your research before, I guess, buying anything or deciding to, you know, that's how I learned about where should the pants actually break. But it's like anything else, you're always going to get opinions, and it is subjective. So ultimately, buy the suit you like, buy the size that you like, where you're going to feel comfortable and you feel like it's going to look a certain way on you. And ultimately, either have the pants hemmed. It's like $18 to $25 most places to have your pants hemmed. And if that's out of your budget, you know, go get the hem tape, have somebody help you pin them, and you basically just put this tape on them and iron them, and it'll give you a hem, and just, you know, steam that nice crease in there, and you'll be good to go. But, you know, my advice to you, again, I know if you're in a pinch and you got to get a suit real quick and go somewhere, fine, but really hem the pants, guys. It just, you know, nothing's going to look sloppier than your pants all bunching up the bottom. So, what else? As far as the pants on these, again, you know, even with my waist, like, I need a belt with these. Even with the elastic, the elastic isn't really doing anything. I would have preferred a smaller size. I probably would have got away with the small size because of the elastic waistline. But again, this is where you're kind of in between on this. It would have been great to have actual pants that are your size. But again, the elastic waistline makes it, you know, you may order something off the rack, and maybe, like me, you may be able to get into the jacket and say, all right, I love the way that fits. And then maybe the pants are going to be too tight, you know. So a lot of companies, in order for you to get a suit that's in this price range, that's, you know, fitted, you're going to pay a lot more for that. You know, if you go into a big box store, you're probably going to be paying $300 to $1,000. Even Men's Warehouse, you're probably going to be looking at $300 to $400 for a suit. And remember, at this price point, you could take this into a seamstress or a tailor, and at least, you know, see what it costs to have it tailored. But I think if you just get the size that fits you, I think a lot of times when people buy a suit, they're really kind of erring on the side of caution and not getting anything that's too tight. I would encourage you, just like anything else, a nice fitted suit looks better than a big baggy kind of sloppy look, in my opinion. But again, if that's the look you're going for, by all means, buy what makes you happy. But overall, very nice. This is my favorite one. I look forward to wearing this somewhere someday. And I just want to thank you know, this company for their generosity in collaborating with Fat Cat Collections. Again, I know these are really informal videos, but this is how I like to film. I don't have a production crew or anything like that. So a little bit more about the suit, though, and these videos are going to be a little bit repetitive because I do have 3 other ones to review, and it is going to be kind of a similar format. It is available, again, blue, red, black, and silver. I requested the blue originally, but hopefully I get my hands on the blue. I hope this company wants to collaborate again, because I'd like to add more of these to my collection of suits. As far as the materials on this one here, it's 29% viscose, 69% polyester, 2% spandex. It does have a little tiny bit of a sheen, but not much. They say it's breathable, comfortable. I agree with that. This is a very soft, very comfortable suit. It says excellent and non-deformed sewing thread, neat and wear resistant. And then what else? Dry clean recommended. You should never throw your suit in the wash machine. And again, with this, you get the pants, the blazer, and of course, the vest. Shipping policy, it says that shipping is free. Let's see here. On orders over $99, again, depending on which one you choose, you may have to pay shipping. So they're kind of pushing you into buying 2. And it says here you get it in 5 to 7 days. Oh, it says 15 to 20 business days if you use DHL 5 to 7. Again, just talk a little bit more about the leave time. Here's what they say about return policy. You have 15 days to return them, or return it. You just send an email to support@cloudstyle.com and elaborate on the reason you want to return it. It needs to be unworn, of course, not used. And it looks like they'll accept the return, but you're going to pay for shipping on that. So just kind of keep that in mind. The size chart is on every single suit. I would encourage you, if you're ordering multiple suits, to look at the size chart on each individual suit. I don't know if the size chart is the same, but for instance, on this particular suit, the medium is a chest size of 42.12 inches. And then, of course, the vest, they say 40.94. Pants, they say, is a 33.85, which in all honesty, the way these pants fit me, I'd say it's pretty accurate. And then, of course, they talk about shoulder, sleeve. Again, depends on, you know, it's easier, I think, sometimes if you're gonna, if you know what suit you normally wear. Like I know with a jacket, I'm a 38 to 42, but of the 42s I've worn, even the 40s, I'll always gravitate towards the smaller size, depending on, you know, if it's there's always a little bit of play in there. You know, again, I've had 38s that fit me absolutely perfect, like this, and this one, I think this one is actually more of a, again, we don't have that exact measurement, like this isn't a 38 or 40, but I would say this fits me closer to like a 39, 40-ish. So it's fantastic. I love it. And again, really informal. If I could help in any way, let me know. As always, I want to thank CLOUDSTYLE for the generosity in collaborating Fat Cat Collections. And stay tuned for suit number 2.